Today, I want to talk about all the new information we got about Alastor from episodes 1 and 2 of Hazbin Hotel, with both episodes available for purchase right now on the A24 app and website, link in the pinned comment down below. If you haven't seen the episodes yet because you are waiting until the 19th when they premiere on Amazon Prime, turn back now as we're getting into spoiler territory. Just keep in mind that this is not a limited early access, but more akin to us reviewing a movie in theaters before it jumps onto streaming. And if you need something to watch in the meantime, go check out my review for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie over on our other channel, Random Universe, where I focus on how Abby is used as commentary for the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom. When Alastor first appeared in the Hazbin Hotel pilot, no one was really sure what his motive was, with him claiming that he wanted to stay at the hotel in order to laugh at the people failing to redeem themselves, while saying he would still help as much as possible with the actual work of the place. His motive seemed to go well beyond his own amusement, however, and episode 1 and 2 of the series teach us quite a bit about it. In the original pilot, Alastor was presented as one of the most powerful overlords to walk into hell, manifesting and then seemingly overnight toppling the existing overlords who had been in place for an unknown amount of time. Behind the scenes, Alastor was described as not caring for power the way the other overlords or demons in general might, and instead seems to use his power just for his own enjoyment without worrying about acquiring more. After clearing out the existing overlords, however, it allowed new sinners to come into hell and quickly rise through the ranks with industries from Earth and none of the pre-existing overlords being around to block their business. One thing I had always wondered is why Alastor would take down those previous overlords but not do the same for the 3 Vs, with him being painted as having a rivalry with Vox long before the series proper aired. In the Hazbin Hotel prequel comics, for instance, we get to see a day in the life of Alastor, where he wanders around Pentagram City, particularly through the cannibal colony. On his way there, he stops to look at what everyone is watching on TV, which is one of Vox's hypnotizing programs. Alastor then walks away, muttering insults under his breath about Vox. Following the pilot, the series proper opens with Alastor creating something of a video advertisement for the hotel, something that Alastor makes a point to show that he hates as he peaked in the age of radio, being a radio show host back on Earth, and then coming over and taking over the radio waves with his powers in hell. According to Alastor, he's been away for quite a while, but we don't really get more information about this until episode 2 after being introduced to Vox. Vox is the overlord of television, someone who came after Alastor and, unlike Alastor, wanted to keep changing with the times, recruiting Valentino and Velvet to help him tackle adult films and later social media, keeping his TV technology relevant in hell. Vox has the obvious power to hypnotize people with his screens, meant to be commentary on how easily programmed people are by what they watch. This is why Vox can be seen in a room broadcasting the chilling message, "Vox Tech, trust us." This is eerily similar to the real-life compilation of news broadcasts from different networks all over America, where the hosts were not just reading the exact same script, but the script itself being about how you need to trust the news over online resources controlled by people you can't see. Vox controls not just the news, however, but all of hell's programming, and even a lot of its internet, it seems, and I believe this ironic theme of trusting Vox is going to be extremely important later in the series. After establishing that Angel was staying at this new Hazbin Hotel, Vox convinces Valentino not to meddle in their business, only to change his tune when he hears that Alastor, the radio demon, is there as well. When Vox hears this, he gets twisted and insane, questioning why Valentino didn't lead with this. Here, Vox also claims that Alastor has been gone a while, not just out of the public eye, but seemingly in hiding. This kicks off Vox's musical number where he talks about how he is going to show Alastor who is in charge now, indicating that Vox wasn't the head honcho he is now 7 years ago, which Vox claims on a live news broadcast to be the amount of time since Alastor seemingly disappeared. Vox isn't just the CEO of his company either, but something of a celebrity figure in hell, the way all powerful figures in hell seem to be, such as the 7 sins in Hell of a Boss. Because he controls TV, it makes sense that Vox himself performs the nightly news and such, and this news broadcast tells me that he's very big on his public image. He isn't going extra hard to make himself suddenly likable, but rather his likability as an overlord is on the line now that Alastor has returned. According to the text ticking at the bottom of the screen at the end of the scene, Vox claims he wrecked Alastor the last time that Alastor tried to come at Vox. Alastor, meanwhile, jumps on the radio waves, something he did before this 7-year hiatus where he, likewise, seemed to be almost a celebrity as opposed to just an overlord with power. According to Vox, it was Alastor disappearing that allowed him to really take over with his screens, which may seem odd considering how long TV has been dominant over radio in real life. However, this seems to parallel how only recently, really in the last decade, screens have taken off to such an extreme degree that we all suddenly have one in our pockets, and the apps and technology that we have now just blow away what we were using screens for 10 years ago. I think Alastor and the overlords before him didn't just hold on to their way of life, but actively tried to sabotage those who could transition the culture of Hell away from that as a whole. As soon as Vox appeared in Hell with his screen technology, he'd be able to slowly gain power, but Alastor would use his own powers and radio broadcasts to fight back and control the narrative, such as we see the two doing in the episode, each using their medium to speak out against the other. Deeper in Hell's past, when Vox first manifested, radio would be the dominant form of media, with there still being public radios broadcasting for Alastor in the musical number from this episode. With TV being new to Hell and there being countless sinners who had never experienced it while on Earth, I think Alastor would easily be able to slow down the development of TV in Hell as a whole, at least until the mysterious confrontation between Vox and Alastor 7 years ago that led to Alastor disappearing. At that point, Vox was probably already pretty powerful and would likely have just been meeting Velvet and seeing how his screens can be used with the internet and social media, and with Alastor out of the way, he'd fled the market with his technology, making Hell in the show just slightly different from our now screen-obsessed America. While Vox claims to have won the battle against Alastor, which would explain why he seemingly fled, Vox is quickly overwhelmed by Alastor speaking against him on the radio, including the revelation that Vox actually reached out to Alastor in order to see if they could work together. This led to Vox short-circuiting and the power going out, which seemed to be part of Alastor's plan. With Vox's broadcast over, Alastor's haunting song continued over the radio waves, with him promising Vox that he is going to wish that Alastor had stayed gone. That, plus Vox's current power load, seems to indicate that Vox is ultimately the more powerful overlord at this moment, with Vox blowing out his own system probably foreshadowing that Alastor won't need to be more powerful than Vox in order to defeat him. Alastor will just have to push Vox into destroying himself. However, Vox's main concern is that Alastor will in fact gain more power specifically by doing a deal with Charlie, the daughter of Lucifer. Demonic deals are a bit mysterious, but according to ancient live streams dated to the early Paleozoic era, deals are one of the primary ways that demons gain power in Hell, with demons having the power to make deals for each other's souls, which we later saw in Hell of a Boss is translated into the currency that people actually use, including the native demons. And of course, this currency is the ultimate power in Hell. But Charlie is so much more powerful than the overlords, with her even having power above the other 7 princes of Hell, save for her father, of course, who is the source of the angelic magic that gives Charlie her power. Charlie wouldn't have to give up her entire soul in order to power Alastor, I imagine, but the pilot does allude to this being Alastor's goal maybe, with Charlie putting it off, but this likely coming back at some point in a finale or just later in the series, with Charlie needing to make a serious deal with Alastor in order to save her hotel. This is what Vox is scared of, as with the right amount of power from Charlie, Alastor could destroy Vox entirely, delivering a final blow with an angelic weapon so that he cannot respawn. Maybe this is Alastor's actual plan, but as the series goes on, I imagine we'll learn more and more that just makes Alastor's goal seem more complex. Vox, as of now, wants to just make sure that Alastor and Charlie do not make a deal, and in that time, he can likely defeat Alastor. But the reason he doesn't go for the direct attack right away is that he doesn't know why Alastor chose this moment to return. Episode 1 ended with the announcement that instead of 1 year until the next extermination, there would be only 6 months, and Episode 2 opened with Vox himself responding to this, saying that he's going to start getting into angelic tech that can help protect the masses as a purchasable product. This is interesting because previously there seems to have never been an attack against an angel, as the first ever death is what pushed Adam to go for yet another extermination, one where he promises things will be more devastating. Alastor thus represents the old ways aligning with Charlie, their team essentially being about coming together as a community to defend against the incoming angel invasion and finding a redemption to escape it entirely. Vox, meanwhile, represents the new yet again, promising to create a purchasable technology that will supposedly defend against the angels, for which he wants to get in touch with Carmilla Carmine, who fans have pieced together to be the overlord of angelic weapons from the card game, and her name being referenced by Moxie in Hell of a Boss when talking about genuine Carmine crafted angelic weaponry. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you haven't seen it yet, go check out my 5 Nights at Freddy's movie review. Or if you need more indie cartoon goodness, check out this video I did breaking out various indie pilots that you should check out this year. See you guys next time!